These farmhouse style DIY home decor are so inexpensive, and I think you're going to love them. Hello everyone, welcome back to DIY Beauty on Purpose. My name is Leonette and let's get started. So for this DIY, I am going to take 4 of the extra large thin canvases from the Dollar Tree, and I am going to place them just right next to each other. So I am going to make an extra large canvas, like a super mega canvas style farmhouse sign. After I measured the lengthwise of them, I am going to measure 1 inch less here on this foam board from the Dollar Tree, and then I am going to cut it to size. I'm going to slightly sand the edge just so that it's nicely clean. And then I am going to take the canvases and I'm just going to hot glue them. The first one, I'm going to apply the hot glue on the actual canvas. And then I am going to stick it on the one corner of the foam board, leaving about half an inch to an inch on both the top and the side.
Soul, hurt, and fire, and ice. Raindrops, teardrops, a good old cry. Daytime, night.
I have no clue what happened to the footage here, but I did add some spackle right where all the canvases meet. I just spread it out just like that, and then until it was smooth and dry. And then I'm going to sand it down. This is not going to take away the line. You're still going to see it, but at least it's not going to be a gap. So after I sanded it down, I made sure that it was nicely dusted, and then I'm going to give it one pretty heavy coat of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white. Using a chippy brush, I am going to distress it just a little bit by adding some aged gray by Rust-Oleum chalk paint and pretty much just dry brushing it. This is just to add a little bit of dimension and a little bit more of a farmhouse look. I found this beautiful cow head online for free, and using my Cricut, I cut it out, and then I'm just going to transfer it right on the lower left-hand corner of the canvas. And to finish things off, I'm just going to add some jute twine on the back so that I can hang it. And I'm going to hot glue it as well as tape it. That way it's nicely secure. And because it's foam board and canvases, it's not too heavy. So this will be plenty sufficient. And I think this one turned out absolutely beautiful. I love the style and it's so farmhouse. for this next DIY, I'm going to take this scrap piece of wood that I found at the hardware store. It was only 25 cents and it is thick. If you do not follow me on Instagram, I ask that you consider doing so if you have an account yourself, because I just showed a little haul on how I got these for 25 cents in the scrap wood area. So check out the link down in the description box where I have the link to my account. All right, so I gave it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the coastal blue, and now I'm just going to lightly distress it. I'm going to add some vinyl onto this, so I'm making sure it is completely dust-free. Again, using my Cricut, I cut out this little puppy and the word woof, and this was all from Design Space, and I'm going to transfer it right in on the sign.
Not long ago, you got hurt, someone did you wrong. I can see it in your eyes, it's like your fire is gone. Across your face, it is written across your face. If you want to talk.
My cousin recently gifted me some home decor she was not going to use. This little knob here was one of them. I'm going to remove the top part. I am going to keep it. That way I can use it in any other DIY. But I'm going to round off that little part there, making sure that it's not pointy at all. And then I'm going to E6000 it as well as screw it in. And this is going to be kind of like mimicking a tail, like the puppy tail. I got this inspiration from Pinterest and I thought it was so adorable. Here I'm just marking because it does have like a screw on the back that I couldn't remove. So I'm just going to make a hole right where it would fall in, and that way it'll fit snug and smooth.
You're not gonna leave your side. Just feel free to open up when the moment's right. Across your face, it is written across your face. If you wanna go out, we can go out. You can hide away just for one night. But if you wanna cry, just let it out. I'm by your side now. Just hold on a bit more, 'cause I know you only see the.
To finish this one off, I added 2 claw hooks to the back, and that's it. This one is so adorable. It would be great in like an entryway where you can hang the leeches there, and I just think it's so stinking cute.
Deep down, I know you're strong. Give them hell, baby, prove them wrong. Just hold on a bit more, 'cause I know you only see the rain, not the rainbow. I know you'll get up again. Better stand up tall, I know you can be brave.
All right, guys, so I am here in my garage, my messy garage, and I have these legs that I took off of a old sewing machine table, and I recently used the top to make a sign, and then the rest of the table I tore apart. And these are the legs, and when I was tearing it apart, it just broke, but I still kept them because obviously I have 4. So I am going to use my miter saw here and cut them all to maybe 12 inches, but I'm going to cut them using a little bit of an angle, probably, let's see, not much, but maybe like a 10-degree angle, like maybe right there. And that way I am going to make a little plant, I am going to make a little plant stand, or like a little, like a little plant stand. So I'm going to use the four of the legs, and then another thing that I took off from the same table was these like pieces, like some of the side pieces and stuff. See, like this is solid wood. So I'm gonna take these off on both ends, and then I'm gonna probably cut off a little bit more so it's not as long as rectangular, but maybe keep it, I don't know, maybe about 18 inches or so. And then I'm gonna build it. So let's see how it goes. All right, so now that I have it nicely cut to size, I am going to quickly give it a good sand on the legs as well as the top. This is me just showing you that tiny little angle cut that I made. I am sanding it because this is an old table. I just want to make sure that it's clean and any, crud or anything on it, it's out. And then I'm going to dust it really, really well. am marking 1.5 inch from the corner. This is where I'm going to drill holes so that I can put in a screw and then eventually screw in the legs. On the legs, I'm just going to find the center of them. All I do is basically do a crisscross from corner to corner, and then right where both lines meet, that will be my center. And you can do this with a ruler. I just freehanded. It's okay. So again, I'm just going to pre-drill holes. That way everything's going to fit and not crack any of the wood.
Come to the water where you will find peace. Take a step into the river, get down on your knees. Come to the mountain.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to take these screws and screw it in each hole
Well,
first.
take it in the view. You will find that life is greater than you knew. When you go through the storm, I will hold you, keep you warm. When you stay in the night, I will shelter, I will fight.
Then using wood glue, I am going to spread it out thinly. I always overdo it with this glue. And then I'm just going to literally screw in the legs and make sure that I'm screwing them in all the way to the angle I want the leg in. So in this case, I want all the legs to kind of face kind of outward. And that's why I gave it that 10-degree cut. And I'll do that with all of them.
I will fight.
Once I made sure that the legs were screwed in nice and tight, I am going to give everything on the top and on the bottom 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the charcoal tone.
You're broken and you're shattered at the point of no return. You pick up the pieces and you let the bridges burn. So come to the wall.
Once it was dry, I am going to distress it lightly, once again focusing on the edges and a little bit on top using my palm sander and a 220 grit sandpaper.
You're sailing with the breeze. Take a step into the river where you will find peace.
Using my Cricut, I designed this design. I really like the way it turned out. This is gonna be, as I mentioned earlier, a plant stand. So I wanted to have something, you know, kind of like plant related. I don't know. I'm stenciling using a makeup sponge and this is like a little wedge sponge, and then Rust-Oleum chalk paint and
You go through the storm, I will hold you, keep you warm. When you stay in the night, I will shelter, I will fight. Oh yeah, I will fight.
I lightly sanded everything just to smooth it out and just to stress it just a bit. This is the part where I kind of messed up a little bit. I'm going to seal everything because if it does have a real plant, you know, when you water it, it's going to get water on it. So I want it to be sealed. However, I do know better. And when I was sealing it, I overbrushed it and some of the white paint smeared. And you'll see it at the end. And then to finish it off, I am going to add these little felt pads on each leg. That way it's not going to scratch any floors. And we're done with this one. I think it turned out so adorable. It sold right away, even with imperfections, with the paint running through. I think it turned out so cute.
When you go through the storm, I will hold you, keep you warm. When you stay in the night, I will shelter, I will fight. I will fight.
For this next DIY, I'm going to take another piece of board that came from that scrap wood area at the hardware store. This one was also 25 cents, and it's kind of like a paneling. So this one's a lot thinner. It was actually a little larger, but it was broken, so I just cut it to the size I wanted. I'm going to give it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white. And then once the paint was dry, I'm going to use this wreath form from the Target dollar spot. It broke on me when I was taking it out of the box that I store my Target stuff. And I said, you know what, I'm going to salvage it. So I'm going to hot glue it in place. And then I'm just going to paint it using Waverly chalk pen and the moss. And it's going to be a really rough one coat, meaning that it's just going to be kind of full coverage, but you're going to see some areas that are going to be distressed.
You as you drive. Do you know I'm looking? And I can't help but smile. Do you know how much I love you? You put my favorite song on. I put my feet up, and we just sing along. And I can't help but feeling, just loving this moment.
Now I'm just going to distress using my sanding block. I'm just going to again focus on the edges and a little bit in the center just to smooth everything out. And then I'm going to hot glue the wreath form right in the center of the board. Using Cricut and Cricut Design Space, I cut out the word grateful, and I'm just going to transfer it right in the center.
I watch you as you sleep. You don't know I'm looking. With you everything's complete. Do you know how much I love you?
I'm going to make a very simple bow here using 3 types of ribbon. This one is from Dollar General. The second one I'm going to use is from Dollar Tree, and then the third one is going to be again also from Dollar General. I just wanted to have different levels of ribbon, and then I'm going to hot glue it on the top of the wreath form.
I could stop the time, don't you know that I would? 'Cause I'm just loving this moment.
Right before I hot glue the bow, I just felt like something was missing, so I added this greenery that came from a pick from the Dollar General, and I just added a couple, and I kind of bend them a little bit just to kind of mimic the wreath form, and then I hot glued the bow. And then on the back, I just hot glued with a lot of glue a claw hook, because this board is more of a paneling, and any claw hook that I would try to put on, it would go through, and I just didn't want that. So it's really light anyways, and I think hot gluing it was sufficient. But look how beautiful it turned out. So farmhouse, so beautiful. But if I had to choose a favorite, I think I'm going to have to choose the little puppy sign. It's so cute. I love the color, and I just love the way it turned out. But let me know in the comments which one is your favorite. I always love listening and hearing what you guys have to say and which one is your favorite. If you're visiting for the first time, thank you so much for coming back. I hope you consider subscribing and joining our YouTube family. And as always, if you're coming back, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I have a playlist here with tons more farmhouse inspiration for you. Check it out. I'll see you later, guys, and have a blessed day. Bye.
Just loving